Warning. This podcast may contain content and language that is not suitable for children. Listener discretion is advised. Hey y'all, welcome back to Tuddies and Buddies, a Daily Double Down Network podcast. I'm your co-host Cody, and joining me like usual is my buddy...
Nate the Bitch.
Oh, Nate the Bitch, that's a good one. Today we're going to be talking about...
XFL. All things XFL, honestly. Let's just start at that.
Yeah, so first off, we're going to just go through, explain the XFL in some detail. We're going to go through a list of the different rules and how it works, and just kind of go over it. Do you want to give them a background on the XFL before we get started?
XFL is, kind of that football league to scratch the itch of the NFL people. Because, we have this little dead period. They try to do that. I don't remember when the first time they tried to do the XFL, but it was...
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s. And then we tried to do a second XFL in 2020. COVID hit, things like that. The actual backers of the XFL went bankrupt. And then it was bought by The Rock and some of his financiers, essentially. And now we have XFL 3.0.
So, yeah, it started back in the early 2000s. It was supposed to be a mix between WWE and NFL. It was like a rougher sport that was just grittier. Mm-hmm. But they made a lot of changes, and we're going to go over some of these rules. So, something I want to start off with is the kickoffs. Those are really, really interesting.
I find it really interesting. They say they want to try to promote safety as well as, just big returns. And,
Devin has going back to our last step.
But, essentially, the two teams that would be blocking each other are only 5 yards away, opposed to having that, 30-yard running start. That essentially prevents all those major concussions or, contact injuries. And then... everything else is, I would honestly say, it's about the same on the kickoff, besides the two teams being 5 yards apart.
So the other cool thing about the kickoff, but they go back to the 30-yard rule like they had back in the olden days of football. But I want to touch on the touchback rules, which I think are really cool. It encourages people to actually return the ball, and I love that. So here's something cool about it. They have major and minor touchbacks. So a major touchback, the ball has to be in the air when it reaches the end zone. It cannot bounce before the end zone. If you call fair catch or it goes out the back of the end zone while it was in the air, you get a 35-yard touchback. Now, if the ball doesn't and it hits the ground before it goes into the end zone, you only get 15 yards 15-yard touchback. So, and there's also cool things with the kickoffs. If the ball doesn't reach the 20-yard line of the other team, then it automatically goes to the 45-yard line. And same for if it goes out of bounds.
And it also goes for punts as well. I was watching one of the games on Saturday, and the punter is I think he punted in the NFL or college. If he punted out of bounds, wherever it went out of bounds is where the ball would be played at. But he did it, and he's like, the reporter came up and he's like, how do you feel about it? That man wanted to be like, fuck my life. But he kicked it out, and they got to start at the 45-yard line. I mean, starting at midfield essentially is a big deal, especially in football. So it gives them a real good incentive to keep it in play, as well as to incentivize the return itself.
What are your personal opinions on it? What do you think about it?
The punting out of bounds I don't like necessarily, because there is that strategic part of it. If I'm at the 50-yard line and I can pin you at your 5 by kicking it out, by all means play the strategy game on that. Yeah. So, but also that incentivizes you to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah.
So if it's 4th and 5 and you're at the 50, you have a better chance of getting it than punting the ball. So I like it, but I don't like it. Just because I guess I'm not used to it. But, if they stick around and we get to see these changes and, let it evolve, I might be at a different opinion in a year or two on it.
So I recently watched an interview with Dwayne Johnson for the opening week of the XFL. And something that he said was there's 53 men on every NFL roster.
Yeah.
I was always 54. You're close, but you're not quite there. And he said that's what this league's for. This is for those guys who want to prove that they are there, and that they can compete and that they can do just as well as everyone else. And I think that's really cool. And honestly, if you actually see Dwayne Johnson at the XFL games and practices and events, he always wears a jersey with 54 on it. So I really like that. And when it goes to like the kicking things out of bounds, I think that that's a rule to promote players. Just play. Just show your talent every single second. This isn't the best paying league. This isn't going to be a major moneymaker, but this could be like your minor leagues of the NFL.
And you speaking on the minor leagues, the guys at work, sports talking with the bros there, we were like, every other major sports network, league, is the word, they have their minor leagues. You have the MLB with like 3 or AAA, AA, single A,
and even farm league after.
Yeah, you got that. You got the NBA with the G League or whatever it's called nowadays,
and summer league too.
You got that. You have the NHL, which I don't know what theirs is called, but they have
NIHL.
NIHL.
Yeah.
You have that. Like, why are we the only league that doesn't have that? Second league to develop talent.
It's called college football.
No.
Yeah, I personally don't like it. I think that from college, I think that they could partner up with the XFL and do something like that.
I do believe the NFL is partnered with them, just not in that way.
Yeah.
It's more, hey, these are rules we want to try out. You tell us how it works.
Yeah.
But hopefully that could develop into a really nice working relationship.
So from what I've heard, Roger Goodell talking, that seems like in the near few years we'll be getting a European division, and they're going down south into Central America too. They got 2 stadiums down there. They play games down there too. I think they're trying to add 2 international sides.
Yeah.
They might add a couple Canadian teams and a couple Mexican teams.
Yeah, that's where...
And then you could throw in the XFL teams and you have full 8 divisions now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's probably the extent that Roger Goodell... God damn.
Goodell?
Dude. Everybody knows who I'm talking about.
Can you do words today, Nate?
No, dude, I've struggled the last 4 days with words, so let's fuck off.
Never. You struggle with breathing too.
I did, yeah. But, we want NFL to be enjoyed by everybody.
Yeah.
We don't, even though it's an American sport, we don't want it just to be an American sport.
I mean, some of the best players are international. I hate the Steelers, Troy Polamalu.
Yeah. Or, the MLB. It is a international sport in the sense,
but it is America's pastime.
It was. It's not anymore.
It's still a pastime. Okay, fuck.
Yeah, because it happened about 30 years ago.
Okay,
That's
see, I'm a baseball player. You guys can go fuck yourselves.
But still, half the MLB is made up by players from Japan or the Caribbean, because those are their sports now. And I would love to see that happen in the NFL. And as you were saying, we want to go overseas. We want to go to Europe. We want to go to Canada. We want to make that, connection with everybody, as well as we just want that money, baby.
Well, I also, there's so many different versions of football. There's the Australian Football League. There's a football league in Canada. And all of these leagues are very different. I think the NFL could centralize it and make it a standardized sport, almost like soccer, baseball, basketball, where it's played the same everywhere.
Yeah, I would love to see that, yeah.
So one thing I want to talk about with the rules as we're continuing on, the clock is just like the college clock.
Within the last 2 minutes. Besides that, it's essentially a normal clock that you'd be used to running. Besides the play clock, I think the play clock is different in comparison.
But like you were informing me, the play clock is 15 seconds shorter, but it's also, you get to...
Yeah, in the NFL, head coaches only have until the 15-second mark to talk to their quarterbacks through the mic. In the XFL, they can coach them up all the way until they hike it, essentially.
Yeah.
And I I don't know how I feel about that necessarily because you're not going to see, I guess, like the mental progression of quarterbacks. Because if you have your QB coach in your ear telling you, hey, this is who you got to watch out for, are you really learning what to identify in the offense-defensive scheming? But 'tis their own.
I think it's a good teaching tool. Like going back to the minor league idea, I think it's a great teaching tool to teach quarterbacks, hey, you need to look for this, you need to look for this. Oh, snap the ball, go. And just help mature them. But at the same time, like you say, it does have a point where they could just be relying on that. And if that doesn't translate to the NFL, but at the same time, they have the same amount of time to talk to their players in between. There's a 15-second difference in the NFL clock, which gives you 15 extra seconds. So you still have the same amount of coaching. Now you just have to listen to everything they say, and now you have a little bit more time to process it.
For sure.
So I think it might actually translate better into the NFL.
Maybe. Because, you're going to have your guys like Joe Burrow, Patty Mahomes, who they don't need it. But if it's like a rookie quarterback and you can talk to them the whole time, it may actually improve gameplay in general. Yeah. Which is a really great point to bring up.
So I want to talk about receiving and passing real quick. So first of all, you only have to get 1 foot in bounds to receive.
And that's actually a point where I really wish the NFL would do that because we would have a lot of great catches.
And we would have a lot higher scoring games, a lot more interactive games.
And then, to also be the devil's advocate of what I just said, getting 2 feet in bounds, it just makes the game a higher pro level, I guess. And that's what makes you pro, is that you can get both feet down. And, devil's advocate to me saying I really like the 1 foot down. But, at the same time, if you can get 2 feet down, that catch is even more impressive at that point.
Well, like we were saying earlier, this league is designed to scratch our itches.
Yeah.
And, it's during the off season, but at the same time, it gets our itches for big plays and great catches and stuff like that. So I really hope to see that starting to happen. But 2 things that I really think are cool. You can double forward pass in this league.
And I still don't know what the fuck that means.
So pretty much. So, if you throw it behind you, you can go forward. Yeah. So instead of that, if you have pressure and you dump pass it to your running back and they're still behind the line of scrimmage, that running back could then huck it down the field.
So essentially it's as if you're doing like a screenplay. You do a simple little 1 yard dump because both the receiver and the quarterback are 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And then if you see somebody open, you can toss it a second time, essentially.
Yeah, it's just like a flea flicker. It's just saying that anytime you are behind the line of scrimmage, you can pass it one more time.
Fair, yeah.
There's also another cool rule. All offensive linemen are eligible receivers.
All right.
But here's the catch. You're only eligible as long as you don't go farther than 2 yards in front of the line of scrimmage. So you could have a lineman snap the ball, push a dude over, turn around, and catch a pass.
That would be a hilarious thing to watch on screenplays. Yeah. Because, in the NFL, you dump it down to their feet if you can't get it. Now, you just give it to the big man and be like, hey, just please get something out of this instead of losing a down. I actually really enjoy that concept.
Yeah, so I like that too. It's just like a dump pass, and they're big guys. They don't train to catch it. Yeah. So if they catch it, cool, but they're probably gonna fumble it.
That's fine. Let big old fucking John Boy Billy over there, who's 35 years old, rumble down the field.
Yeah. So, do you want to give us the rundown on what they do for points after?
All right. I quite enjoy the point after. Normally, you score your touchdown, you kick an extra point, and go for 2 points. Here, there are no extra point kicking. So you get your touchdown, and to score 1 point as normal, you run another play from the 2 yard line as if you're doing a 2 point conversion in the NFL. If you want to go for 2 points, you start at the 5 yard line, run a play, you get 2 points. Then if you want to go for a 3-pointer, you make the play at the 10 yard line and do that. It adds another layer of complexity to the game, as well as most teams you're never going to be out, because if it's a 18-point score lead, you can get that in, 2 touchdowns? Two touchdowns. Because it'd be 6 plus 3, yeah. I mean, it makes it a more competitive game, adds a lot more juice to it, essentially.
Yeah, I like it, especially for like the 2-point conversion, because in the NFL they put it on the 2-yard line, and we see like Nick Chubb is 10th in the league with 5 yards per carry.
Yeah.
So if he's averaging a 5 yards, they easily just push through.
For sure.
You know, and a 2-yard QB sneak isn't too far off either.
Yeah, I mean, because we saw the Jalen Hurts, they call it the tush push.
Yeah.
And, like, they were getting fucking 5 yards of fucking QB sneak. Like,
exactly. And you see Josh Allen, I've seen him get 7 yards on a QB sneak.
Yeah, so it's real fun to see that because, I mean, is it worth it only getting 1 point and, you know, throwing your quarterback in, harm's way, essentially, versus, you know, 'cause 3 points is a lot at that point.
Now, one interesting thing that I have here about the punting is anytime there's a touchback or a punt that goes out of bounds, they get it at the 35-yard line. So on punts, it goes to the 35, and on touchbacks, it goes to the 35. What do you think of that?
It's like they're essentially incentivizing you to kick it inbounds to return it. I think I kind of touched on it, but punting, especially if it's, you know, a punt to pin somebody in their own yard line, it's kind of hard to do that when you can't kick it out of bounds.
Yeah.
So
and if you kick it through the end zone, it's automatic 35.
It's a tough one for me to figure out if I like right now. As that's the part of the game that I really enjoyed is the strategy of trying to pin somebody back there at the same time.
Yeah, that's a big part of football. I kind of like it. I kind of don't. I like it for the fact that it actually incentivizes teams to go for it on 4th down, use all 4 downs. And when I first started watching football, I fucking hated that shit. Just go for it. Just fucking do it.
Yeah, I mean, statistically, if it's a 4th and 5, you have a 50% chance of getting it. Just go for it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those things where it's it's strategy. It's all about winning. But at the same time, let's make it fun to watch. Because there's, especially in the NFC South, between Atlanta and Carolina, it's just a punt fest. It's literally just a punt fest.
Yeah, it does get boring to watch, and you know, I have to watch it, you know, learn a little bit more, figure out how I feel about it.
Okay, so final rule that I want to talk about that I think is really fucking cool. Overtime. Do you know how they do overtime?
I have not watched any overtime. Okay. I haven't had a chance.
So, do you know what soccer overtime looks like?
Very vaguely.
So each team has 5 free kicks.
Mm-hmm.
Same idea. Each team's put on the 5-yard line, and Jesus Christ, whoever makes 3 or more wins. Whoever makes the most wins. Defense can't score. You get 5 attempts to score 2 points, and whoever comes out of that wins.
You know, I don't like that one, actually. I'd rather them do what they do in college. Put you at the 25. If you score, your opponent gets a chance to score from their 25. And, you know, they go back and forth. I like that. I feel that's really a competitive.
Oh, but then you have college games that go to 7 overtime.
Yeah, you know, LSU, Texas A&M, 74-72. Fuck the Aggies.
Oh, yeah, fuck the Aggies. Except for Garrett. I love Garrett.
But, you know, I really enjoy that. But maybe it's easier on them because you do it at the 25. Maybe push it back to, the 35 because you have to go 35 yards. Mm-hmm. So go from that. Or start them at the 50-yard line and be like, hey, go score. So I like that. But I even like how the NFL does it, if I'll be honest. I
hate how the NFL does it. I wish the NFL was on college rules.
I would love it if the NFL was on college rules. God damn, we'd be there all night.
Exactly.
But even if they were just do another full 15-minute quarter with the same rules and play it. If they score a touchdown, let the other team play it the whole quarter.
That's my personal. For the XFL, I think they should just one more quarter, one full quarter. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. Yeah. You only play one game a week, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I mean, their season, they only play, I think, like 10 games or something.
Yeah, it's
like,
not a very long season because the summer comes around real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see that actually be implemented because, another 15 minutes of football, I think every NFL fan would love to see another 15 minutes of solid football.
Exactly. I wish that would be a thing in the NFL, but instead it's, whoever scores first, fucking cunts.
Yeah, I mean, even if, like, you had to go to a second 15-minute overtime, fuck it. I want to watch football.
Personally, at that point, if you go to a second one, I think they should reduce it to, like, 12 minutes. And then
that
third
second
would be, like, 10 minutes.
I mean...
Because at that point, you would play... If you go to 4 overtime, you're playing fucking...
another whole-ass game, essentially.
Exactly.
Well, so, at that point, I guess you do, like, one full quarter, and then you do some roundabout way of doing another, another way of winning, I guess.
Yeah, well... So, yeah, you just come to... maybe. Maybe. I want to see them just play it out.
Yeah.
I hate the fact that, he scored, they win. You didn't even give the other team a chance. Because you have offensive shootouts all the time. Like, didn't the Vikings-Bills game go to overtime?
I do believe it did.
I'm pretty sure it did, and they won because of Justin Jefferson's, like, spectacular grab.
Yeah. I mean... We can have all the ideas we ever want to see, but, will they get implemented?
Fuck no. No one. The NFL does not listen to us. They already have their script ready.
Yeah, they probably know where Lamar is going. They know where everybody's going at this point.
Probably.
I bet you I could get, like, a Lamar jersey for like, Tampa Bay right now, because they're like, that's where he's going.
Dude, I don't know what Browns jersey I'm going to buy this year.
I'm gonna.
I think I'm buying an Amari Cooper jersey.
You should get the man beater Alvin Kamara's jersey. But is there any other rules that we find?
No, actually, I think that's all. One. Oh, you do?
I do. So I might be wrong on this, but it's their way of replacing the onside kick. Is you essentially line up a play and it's 4th and 15 or like something like that, and if you get it, you get the ball back. God.
Holy crap.
I feel like I'm fucking this up, but
Here, let me look it up. XFL onside kick rules. Here we go. Yeah. But teams will have the option in the fourth quarter only to convert a 4th and 15 play to retain possession and keep the offense on the field.
I like that.
I do like that. That's cool, but at the same time, onside kicks, those are exciting as fuck.
You know what they should have done?
Because it's literally a coin toss.
But with an onside kick, instead of it being kicked, they should just been like an onside toss. Like, it has to go like 10 yards past where the quarterback's throwing it. But everybody knows it's going to get thrown to one side of the field. And just defend it that way. It's like a Hail Mary, like, fuck it all type of thing.
Yeah, I like that, too. You gotta... I think it... Yeah.
Like that, or, I mean, I love onside kick, but
I think if you do that, you should have to bounce it. Like, take the ball and...
That's fucking be hilarious.
That would be hysterical.
Because, like, we know onside kicks aren't traditionally successful.
No.
And I feel like I would like
Unless
to
you're the Patriots.
Or the Saints, and you surprise somebody in the second half. But, like, I want to see that. I want to be able to see a team score, flip it, and get the possession back off of an onside kick. Because right now, if, like, the team is expecting you to onside kick, it's like a 3% chance you get it.
Yeah.
I would love to see, like, a 20 or 25% chance.
Well, you're automatically gonna have, like, everyone's they're gonna go to, like, cover 3. Like, immediately and just, like, cover deep.
Yeah, but, I mean... something like that. I would love to be able to have an onside kick that's more
it would be insane that if they had that 4th and 15 and some motherfucker dumps it to their offensive lineman and he gets it.
Yes,
that would
be
be hype.
Exactly.
Yeah,
or on cool. The onside kicks, you can't have any skilled players. It has to be like offensive and defensive linemen, and you just kick it, and whoever can get their fat ass on the ball.
Or they should... this one's gonna tickle your pickle. They should have all the offensive and defensive, or 11 offensive and defensive from each team, and they just all circle around the midfield logo. One, and like they interchange, so like one player, another player, one, you know what I mean? And the ref just tosses the football in the middle, and whoever comes out with it has it.
That'd be fun. That would be the WWE type of shit. But you have to put a time limit. It'd be like, you get 1 minute as soon as I toss it, go. And just they're all fucking battling. That would be great.
Exactly.
I would watch that.
Oh,
I would pay to like be in the middle of that and just have it happen.
Dwayne Johnson, this is my idea. If you steal it, I'm coming for your ass. I want royalties. I need money for this podcast. Which reminds me to tell you guys, go sign up for our Patreon. We will have additional NBA content on there. First episode is coming out tomorrow. Go check it out. We'll also have Nate's mock draft list up there. So if you guys want to go sign up, show some support, we would absolutely appreciate it. But... fuck. Oh, yeah. The top tier. Shut up. Later. Okay?
Oh, okay.
You brought your lube, right?
No, I like it dry.
Oh, it's gonna hurt.
It doesn't hurt. My shit's wider than a fucking semi-truck.
Oh, Jesus Christ. God bless it. As I was saying, if you sign up for our top tier on our Patreon, you specially get to pick out a topic for one of our 3 different podcasts, and we will discuss that topic for the entire episode. You will have early access to all of our episodes where you get them the night before they come out. So if you like the show, you want to support us and you want us to keep going, please go ahead, leave a like, subscribe, and go sign up for our Patreon. With that, we'll get back into it.
Damn right.
So, players?
You had a couple players you wanted to tell me about.
So, off of the Seattle Sea Dragons, I saw one guy. This little shit. Number 3, Pearson, runs a 4.2 40.
Yeah, he's a little speed demon.
Dude, the Browns need to sign that motherfucker.
But he could be just like another John Ross.
Oh, God. Why'd you have to deflate that so fast?
Oh, you mean Deflategate?
No, deflate me.
I'll inflate you.
Will you inflate me worse than Biden did the economy?
Yeah. I mean, for sure. I can definitely inflate you more, big boy.
It's got to be 8%. You know, 8% of me is like a lot.
That's fine. I've been practicing at work, so it's okay.
Oh, God, you're gas. But anyways... yeah, I saw him and this guy Danucci. Okay, first of all, everyone's saying next Patty because he made a cool shuffle pass to Josh Gordon. He's not in the next Patty, but
he's good at the XFL level. He's great.
He has a noodle fucking arm, but he is a flashy player and he has decent reads. Yeah, but. Honestly, the only player that I've really seen so far that I'm like, other than PJ Walker, because I called PJ Walker, I didn't actually call him, but I called it that he was going to end up in the NFL when he was playing in the XFL a few years back. Or was it the fan-controlled football league?
Oh, I forgot that existed. Or does. There's way too many leagues competing right now. We have to have somebody win out. I mean...
NFL's going to win all day.
Yeah, but you need somebody because everybody's competing to fill that gap between the NFL Super Bowl ending and the real off-season moves.
Yeah.
But I have a guy I saw playing for the Houston Roughnecks. I mean, I say that sounds very racist if I'm going to start off with that, but let's ignore that fact right now.
It is incredibly racist.
It's John Trey Kirkland, wide receiver from LSU. Absolutely dominated. And he actually, I think, made a practice squad in 2020. But we also gotta remember the 2019 and 2020 LSU team. Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. He got stacked behind those. Like, he's a good wide receiver. I liked his route running. Competitive at the catch point. I expect to see him at least maybe on an NFL roster next year. So keep an eye out for that man.
Yeah. Do you have anything else for us with the XFL? I think next Monday, for whatever we do, I'm probably gonna bring one XFL player into the fold. That just bring up one XFL player that I think is just doing good and should make it to the league. If you want to do the same.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably stick with Kirkland. I'm going to be sucking that man's dick until he
someone
fails.
different every week, okay?
Maybe. But
you don't think you can find one guard that'll be good in there?
Offensive linemen aren't real people. They should all just be
wide receivers.
Literally should only be wide receivers out on the field.
I bet you played offensive line in Pee Wee.
I did. I played offense. I played guard and tackle. And then I played fullback later on.
It's okay. I played offensive line in Pee Wee, but when I went to high school, I manned up and became a defensive edge, motherfucker.
I'm too small to do that.
I know.
That's the only reason I only could play fullback, or they wanted me to play safety. And
I couldn't run.
And I'm slow. I mean, slow.
The only coverage I would drop, because I played linebacker, D-end, and the only time I would drop into coverage was if I was lining up on the end and the tight end would go out for a dump pass. Dude, I swear, that's how I hurt my fucking knee. I caught a fucking dump pass, one-handed, and the fucking quarterback laid out in front of me. I was pissed.
Nah, man, I was a grunt. I played center, guard, and tackle, if I actually be honest.
Yeah.
But had a good boy over on the right tackle. When we got to play guard and tackle, that shit was litty like a titty, bro.
Dude, I had one halfback that hated me. So anytime I would play right tackle, he would try to step on my heels.
And that's when you're like, oops, I forgot my assignment, and let the guy go.
One time, I just fell into him. This was Pee Wee football, so my coach was so pissed he didn't play me for the rest of the season. I played 6 snaps a game.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
It was hysterical. But is there anything else you have to say about the XFL?
Yeah. The Houston Rough Riders,
Roughnecks,
whatever the fuck they are. They are the best team in the XFL by far.
That's the team that PJ Walker came from.
It was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I can see why.
Yeah.
But Wade Phillips, the head coach, his defense was nasty. They had 7 sacks and forced 4 turnovers.
Holy shit.
Their defense is nasty.
So we should probably be looking at some of the defensive players maybe to get a...
See, I don't think they're, overall defensive players are good per se. It's, Wade Phillips just knows how to draw up defense. Glenn Logan's actually was really good. He's from LSU. I'm doing a little bit of an LSU dick sucking right now. Sorry, guys.
He is an LSU dick sucker.
But Glenn Logan's good. If I remember correctly, he did actually play in the NFL. I mean, because one of their guys actually had 4 sacks. I just don't know who it was off the top of my head. But somebody... Oh, Travion Mason, I think might have been it. Had 4 sacks out of the 7. He was dominating, but I can't say anything yet because, those offensive lines are piss poor.
You don't think offensive linemen exist, so shut the hell up.
Who are those?
Who are you? Where? I lost my co-host, guys. He disappeared because offensive linemen don't exist.
They don't, and come at me for it all you want, bitches.
With that being said, I think that's all we got for you guys today. So, remember, sign up for the Patreon, follow us, leave a like, leave us your comments on the XFL in the comments. We'll be sure to get back to you. And also, if you are interested in any of our other shows, check out DoubleDownNetwork.com, where you can find all of our blog posts, all of our podcasts, pretty much everything. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Double Down Network. I think that's all I got.
Is that all you got?
I hope so.
Well, guys, give us a like, follow, subscribe, all that bullshit. Come back at y'all next week.
You mean Wednesday?
Wednesday, next week, all that shit's all the same at this point.
At this point. All right, we'll catch you next week, y'all. See you later, bitches.
Peace out, bitches.